want to start with just a basic description of, what are chakras. And if you think about the physical body, it's organized into organs like the heart or the brain or the lungs, and everyone has a different function. And then there's these simpler organs like glands that are just synthesizing and storing fluids and so on. And this is a really good analogy in the energy body too. So if you look at the energy body, what you'd see is that the chakras are like the organs of the energy body. And we typically talk about 7 main chakras. I'll go through those today. And each one processes a different kind of energy in your body, just like the organs process a different type of energy or fluid, have a different function in the body. And there's also, in addition to these 7, there's minor chakras. Like we worked with the hand chakras a little bit already. We worked with the feet chakras to pull up earth energy. There's many different chakras, smaller chakras in the body. Now, another way to think about chakras is think of them like your own personal orchestra. And I like this analogy because when we tend to think about energy, a lot of times we think of it as a physical object. But as you've been seeing, sound is a much better analogy because that vibration is an easier way to understand energy. So think about your chakras like your own little personal orchestra. So they're listening attentively to the energy that's coming in around you. And then they're adjusting and changing that energy a little bit, tuning it, and then broadcasting it back out into the world. And this is, on a kind of simple level, a really high level, this is what your chakras do. So they're like, they're kind of like the speakers, microphone too, but kind of like the speakers. And the sound that comes out, you can think of that like the energy in your aura. So if you're wondering, what's the difference between my chakras and my aura, that's a really nice way to think about it. The chakras are like speakers, and the aura is the music that's coming out, sort of your song as it's flowing out into the world. So a really nice way to think about it. Now, of course, your chakras are going to work the best when they're in harmony, right? So it's like these strings on the guitar. If they're in harmony, it sounds really good. You get that kind of yummy feeling or that yummy sound. But if one of them is out of tune, just one, then the whole thing can sound pretty horrible. It can sound like something is really off in that person. And, think about that. You probably know somebody that you've met where you had that feeling like, something's a little bit off about that person. Probably what it was is they've got a little energy stuck in one of the chakras, or one of their chakras is out of tune. And because you're sensitive and you're listening, you can feel that. And you may not be able to identify what it is, but keep in mind that it's not necessarily like a personality flaw or something that's wrong with the person. It's probably just a little energy that's stuck inside them. Okay, and so when you're in harmony, you'll notice that your energy really radiates out into the world much stronger as you're kind of sending your song out into the world. And that's what we want to get to today, is that nice, harmonious feel. Okay, so let's talk about the 7 main chakras. And each one, again, has a different function. That we usually number them from the bottom, so the root chakra, up until the top. And as I talk about this, I want you to either kind of tune in with your mind and feel the chakra I'm talking about, or you can even put your hands over that chakra and just feel the energy, because this will help you to get a more experiential sense of what each chakra means, okay? So the root chakra is near the base of the spine, and this has to do with issues around physical survival and health and money. And you really want to have a solid foundation in your root chakra, which is, again, why we start with that grounding. Now, the second chakra is by the navel, and this one works with the energy of emotions and sexuality and vitality. And so the question you want to ask yourself now as you're feeling that second chakra is, do I have a powerful fire burning in me? Do I have that motivation, that passion that moves things forward? That's that energy of the second chakra. All right, so the third chakra is the solar plexus. And this has to do with manifesting or creating things, about taking action, and about personal power. And as you feel that energy, I just want you to notice, what does your third chakra feel like? Does it feel like you can accomplish your goals? Does it feel like you have all that energy you need to make those things happen, to take real action in the world? All right, so number 4 is your heart chakra, and this one's probably pretty easy to guess. Your heart chakra is about love, so love for yourself and love for others. And as you feel that energy of your heart right now, just ask yourself, am I fully able to give love? Am I fully able to receive love? Because that's the energy that's dominant in that 4th chakra. Okay, your 5th chakra, just moving up, is here in the throat. And of course, this one has to do with communication. And as you feel that energy in the throat chakra, the big question you want to ask yourself is, can I speak my truth? Am I free to just say what I want and not be afraid, not worried about what other people say? Can I let that energy flow? Because that's what a strong 5th chakra feels like. All right, moving up, 6th chakra is right here in the 3rd eye, and or the forehead. And this is about your intuition and your guidance. So just tune into that one right now. And just ask yourself, do I feel confident that I can see energy or understand energy or receive my guidance? Do I feel good about that energy? Is this chakra clear? Because that's all has to do with the 6th chakra. Okay, finally, the 7th chakra is the crown chakra. We worked with this a little bit with the cosmic energy, and this one has to do with your inspiration and your spiritual connection. It's actually connecting you to the rest of this chakra system. We generally talk about 7, but there's actually 12 chakras in this system. Just 7 are in the body. The 7th is kind of that gateway up to the rest, but there's more. There's that 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. They're actually outside your body, above you. People don't deal with them that much because, we're still struggling to even get a grasp on the 7 in the body. But you can play with those if you want. Now, the 7th chakra, keep in mind that it's a little bit different. It's generally facing upward, but you can also have that front to back flow that you'll notice in the other chakras too. And I'm curious what you guys notice. So as you're feeling the chakras, could you tell a difference just in putting your hands there and noticing chakra to chakra? Is it, what information stood out for you? Okay, so let's see. Guni said, I instantly feel the energy in my chakras. Great. So one person able to feel there. Colleen says the heart is tight. And Sandra says, my biggest issue is I lack self-confidence. That's one area I want to change. Alston said, I got colors and sensation. Raquel, mine are not very balanced. Surge, one more person feeling tightness and openness. And so you're feeling it just right. If it feels like things are a little tight in some of the chakras, that's normal. That's what we're going to work on today. So, excuse me. So as we work today, you'll notice by the end that chakra that was tight for you should be starting to loosen up and get that more vibrant, more beautiful song, like that tuned up guitar string. Okay, so let's look at some of the details. Now, this is kind of funny. I was debating on whether to put this in today because, in my opinion, the energy is really the most important thing. So I really want you to just feel what's happening in your body rather than have a preconceived idea of what has to happen. Because if you've got an idea of how it has to be, you're going to try to adjust your energy to match that idea. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to feel what's really happening in your energy, right? I want you to be aware, not trying to program or trying to be a certain way. But, you guys were asking, excuse me, my voice is funny today. You guys were asking for more details, so I decided I'm going to go for it. I'm going to give you more details. We'll see how it goes. So in general, the energy in the chakras is about processing and storing information, okay? So this determines how the energy flows through your body and kind of your historic stream bed, if you will, of what's been happening, is that stored information. And the chakras look like spinning vortexes of energy. So the energy looks like it's spinning this way, so clockwise from the front. If you ran your right hand from your hip kind of up, to your top of your head like this, you'd be spinning your chakras in kind of their normal direction. Now, you want to keep in mind that they also spin the other way on the inside. So as the everything's in balance when you look at the geometry of nature and when you look at energy. So if there's a clockwise spin, there'll be a counterclockwise spin too. In the chakra, it kind of looks like the energy is spinning out away from you in this manner and then coming back with the other spin. And it's a little hard to describe, but that's looks a little bit like this. So you've got the energy coming out in front of you, like it's a little smaller close to the throat or close to the body, and it sort of radiates outward, gets bigger as it goes away. And it goes in front of you and behind you. Now again, keep in mind, these are the way that I feel energy. You know, your mileage may vary, right? So you may feel it a little bit different. Your chakras may spin the other way. Don't worry that you're not doing it right. In fact, if you find that you're, something is happening for you that I didn't describe, that's really great. You want to pat yourself on the back, like really good awareness, because you're able to see what's actually happening, not just what you think should be happening. Okay, now also the cosmic energy runs up through the chakras. Now, when I taught you cosmic energy, I just said feel it coming down the back of the body and up the front of the body. You know, I basically was saying, just drive down that highway. What I didn't tell you is it's a 2-lane highway. And you don't need to know that to run your energy. But if you're looking at the details, you'll notice that the cosmic energy actually runs in 2 channels down the back of the body and 2 channels up the front of the body, just a little bit to this off center on each one. And the reason it does this is it's connecting with these chakras. So at the kind of the right side and the left side, the cosmic energy is connecting with the chakras and helping to send new energy in or refuel that chakra, and also carrying out any debris or anything that needs to release. So that's kind of the details on the chakras. And if you have any questions on the details, just type them in right now, and I'll spend a moment just in case there's something that I missed there. Because, I want you to understand what's happening. But again, the big warning is, your actual flow might vary, right? It may not look exactly the way that I'm showing you to you. You might see something a little bit different, and you might feel something different. And, don't try to look exactly like my cartoon sketches, right? Because you're not a cartoon. Just feel it and know what's happening there. Okay, so let's see. So Cindy says, like electrical loops there. A little bit, it'll feel like energy. And so sometimes that can feel like electricity too. So Don says, what shape are the chakras? So just the shape that I described here. So from the front, they're going to look round. From the side, they kind of look like a cone reaching outward. And they can extend quite far from you, just like your aura can extend, to the entire planet if you want it to. The energy that you're playing out of these chakras, remember, it's just sound vibrations, or it's just frequencies rather, like sound. So that can travel very far away from your body. Tends to be a little more focused close to you, a little broad as it moves out. The big question you might have is, why do you want to heal your chakras? And this is probably pretty obvious by now, is that you're wanting to change your momentum. You're wanting to, break those patterns so that you can, get new results and create new energy patterns and new cool things happening in your life. And you're not feeling like, oh, why did it happen again? I don't know what to do. You're not feeling in that stuck place. Also, healing your chakras is going to help you restore your natural harmony. So your energy blocks, where the energy is flowing funny in the chakras, keeps you out of that natural balance. And as you clean the chakras, you'll go back into balance, and you'll notice that your body starts to feel a lot better too. So all the chakras affect your physical organs and your physical body too. So cleaning them out helps you restore that natural harmony, both energetically and physically. And a really cool benefit too is that if you can get this coherency, I talked a little bit about this in week 1, that coherency is healing. So if you're vibrating with coherency in a strong, coherent field, everybody around you will start to heal you. So all you have to do is get lined up, and your life will magically start healing itself. And this has really been true for me in my life. Okay, so to do the chakra healing, I'm going to give you just a couple of tools. This is right out of the Healing 101, so if you want more details, you can listen to that. The first thing you want to do is you want to find what is the real thing that's happening. So say I've got a block and I'm feeling, maybe I'm feeling really sad about something. And what you want to do is ask yourself, is this the real problem? Is there something under it, right? So maybe I I kind of tune in and I notice, okay, that what I thought was sad energy, actually, actually I'm a little bit angry. I just feel more comfortable being sad. So I was kind of ignoring the anger. Okay, so is anger really it? Or do I need to go one level deeper? So you're going to just kind of keep diving in to find that underlying problem. And once you know what it is, even if whatever level you decide to stop digging deeper, then you want to find, where is that energy in my body? So you're going to just tune in and feel like you can do this as I'm talking here. Think of one thing that's stuck for you and just notice, oh, where does it feel like that energy is in your body? Then you're also going to look at the color. Does it have a color or a texture, or a particular shape, or an emotion, or a message? All the details. You just get as clear as you can on what it is that energy feels like to you. And then an easy step, you're going to give yourself permission to let it go. So if you're resisting, you just let that resistance go. And then I like to use a rose to either move into the chakra, kind of like this gold sticky rose, where it's going to, like a little sticky note or post-it note. We're going to move it into the chakra and just sort of pull out anything, like a little feather duster, pulling it out. That's a great way to use a rose. Or you can also use, just put a rose in front of you and just with your intention, just let the energy release from the chakras move out in that rose. Another great way to do it. So you're going to gather that energy into the rose, and then you're just going to put that energy outside your aura and just pop it and let it go. Now, I did have a question this week about, what's happening with that energy. We're releasing a lot of energy in this training, and do you have to worry about where it's going? And generally you don't. You're not going to harm anybody. The universe is really big, and the earth is really big, and it's actually set up to help you. So if you release something into the earth, you're not poisoning the earth, or if you send energy back to somebody, you're not hurting that people. In general, just if your intention is to take care of you and get clean, you're not going to hurt anybody else. Okay, final step is you're going to just fill in with cosmic energy. So you're just going to breathe in that self-love and compassion and gratitude, and just fill in that place where you're released. And that's what's really going to help that pattern go away, is you've now you've taken out that groove that was in the, kind of the rut in the road, or in the, where the river ran. And then as you put more energy in, you're sort of leveling it out again, and making that a nice even field so that next time you can go a new direction. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about chakra cords too. So chakra cords are one-way chakra connections with other people. And there's really two different types of cords that you see. You see the kind of pulling energy type. In this picture, the little green guy on the right is sort of pulling energy from the heart chakra of that person on the left. And this happens if somebody has an energy that you want. So maybe they're thinking, oh, you're really successful. I want to learn some of that from you. And so they try to kind of connect you and pull that information out of your chakras to them. And sometimes this will feel like you can actually feel like somebody's sort of pulling on you, or you're feeling drawn towards somebody, especially if they're pulling on maybe your second chakra or your heart chakra. You may feel like you're actually wanting to move toward that person. Now, the second kind is more of this sort of pushing energy. And it's like the green person pushing their green energy out into somebody. And this is like an energy of like, oh, I want you to change in some way. So maybe I want you to be, maybe it's even kind, like I want you to be happier in the world. So I'm pushing my happy ideas out into you. And you want to keep in mind that chakra cords are not intentional most of the time, and they're not malicious. People are not actively thinking, I'm going to plug into your third chakra and rip the energy out of you and you'll be depleted. Right? It's not happening like this. This is, almost always just unconscious and unintentional. It's just somebody has a desire to receive something from you or give something to you. So you want to let go of any idea that, these people are bad people or mean people, and just let that go, because, remember, if you're doing that, you're giving up your seniority, right? And it could be that even if you're feeling a push or a pull from somebody, that maybe you initiated that energy too, right? You can't always assume that chakra cords come from other people and you're 100% clean, right? Probably you're, equally unconscious to where you're cording other people. Now, when you're looking at cords, you'll notice that if it has more of like a conscious intention, like somebody wants to be really helpful, those will tend to be cords into the fronts of your chakras, okay? Like maybe your parents are trying to help you. They think you should be a doctor. It's really good for you, so they're pushing that energy in. or your partner wants more love, so they're trying to pull energy from the front. If you see a cord of energy in the back, this is where it's a little bit more unconscious or kind of sneaky energy. So like maybe I want something from you, but I'm a little shy and I'm afraid to ask you. So I'm just going to kind of sneak that cord around to the back and plug in. And, maybe I like you in some way, but I'm too embarrassed to say it. So I'm going to cord you in the second or the fourth chakra. And remember, these are unconscious. These are not, even in the back, it's not mean or malicious. We're not talking about bad people. We're just getting more conscious. So when you're playing with chakra cords, really have a good sense of amusement. Okay. And I would say in general that, adults don't really need chakra cords. Now, I say adults because there's one exception where you've got your children. If there's a cord coming from a child into a parent, especially in the root chakra, this is very normal. Your children do need you to survive. So they're usually connected into that root chakra to get that information on how to survive on the planet. And so if you see that, you don't want to pull that out. It'll come out naturally. You'll know when it does because it's usually in the teenage years where your teenager is saying, "Mom, I just don't need you anymore." "Dad, I don't need you anymore." Oh, okay, good. They're starting to pull that chakra cord out, and that's a good thing. So right now, I want you to think about yourself. Like, is there anybody where you feel the energy is a little out of balance? Either there's like a pull or like a push of energy happening. And just think about that. Like, where is that energy unbalanced? And, if you can, tune into who started it. Is this a cord that I sent out to them or one that they sent into me? What happened with that cord? Okay, now, when you do find a cord, you want to remove that cord. And this will help. If you're working on yourself, you can release the cords. If you're working on somebody else, doing some healing, you can release their cords and help pull them out for them. And the process is really simple. First, again, you're going to find which chakra it's in. And often you can just do that with your hand. Just kind of feel with your hand, where does it feel like the energy is stuck or where there's a cord. If you're working on yourself or working remotely, you can visualize somebody out in front of you. So I'll just visualize myself out here, and then I'll move my hands in the air and just kind of feel like, oh yeah, it feels like there's a little cord here behind, the fourth chakra, for example, or maybe there's one over here in the front. So you can work remotely like this, even if it's on yourself. I find that's actually an easy way to work. And when you find where it's attached, you're just going to kind of gently grab it with your hand, not too forceful, and then you're going to give it permission to exist and permission to change. And what you're doing here is just letting go of any resistance. If you're feeling angry or insulted because somebody courted you, let that go. And just forgive the other person or yourself because it's not a big deal. We're just getting conscious and moving energy. Then once you've got that cord in your hand, you're just going to give it a very light pull. You're not going to yank it out because that's a little bit violent. You're just going to give it a light pull and then kind of wait for the energy to release. And then you'll notice what happens is at some point you'll notice, okay, there, it just came out naturally. I like to put that into a rose and just send the energy back to the person where it came from. And again, you're not harming anybody when you send their energy back. It's actually, it's a good thing. It's a healing for them too. Now, you can see the same pattern with people connecting, as people connect into your chakras. The same thing happens with your grounding. So if you're naturally a very grounded person, or if you've been practicing with the duality training and you've become a more grounded person, you might notice that other people are grounding into you. And this is very natural, especially when there's an emergency. Like if you're in a situation, there's a big loud noise or the ground shakes or something like this, people will naturally reach for the closest, strongest grounding cord because they're looking for stability. And so as you get better at your grounding, you'll notice people are actually connecting into your grounding. There's a little attachment where they go down and just connect into your grounding. If you feel this, again, don't get mad at anybody. You just want to be grateful that your grounding is so strong that people are coming to you. That's fantastic. It means you're doing a great job. And to take it off for the grounding, I would do it a little bit different. I would just take your entire grounding cord off and give it to that person and then create a new one for yourself. And so in a situation, if you find you've got 3 or 4 people attached to your grounding, just give them each your grounding cord and then just create a new one for yourself. It's a great way to release. Similar energy, but a little bit different method, so I wanted to mention it. Okay, so I've been talking a lot. Let's do a meditation and get you guys into really feeling what's happening in the chakras and starting to move and change some of that energy for yourself. So go ahead and close your eyes. And first ground yourself. Feel that energy going from the root chakra into the center of the earth. Feel that earth energy coming back up through the feet chakras. That root chakra. Turn that analyzer off. And then feel the cosmic energy coming down the back of the body. This time notice those 2 channels, one on each side of the spine. And as the energy comes into the root chakra, feel the cosmic energy starting to fill up that root chakra with new life force. And feel it clearing out any old blocks, any old patterns that you have around survival or the physical body and your health or around money. And you can create a rose right in front of that chakra and just move it in and start clearing out that chakra. So the rose is taking up the old energy, the cosmic energy is filling in where that energy is releasing. Just use those 2 together. Okay, good. And then pull that rose out of the front chakra, out of the front of the root chakra. Just let it go. Very good. And then feel that root chakra just spinning into perfect balance. Really nice foundation for you. All right, good. Now feel that cosmic energy coming up to the next chakra. It's right in the navel. You can even put your hands there again if you want. And feel it filling up with cosmic energy, helping to balance his emotions and sexuality and vitality. And again, bring a rose in, clean that chakra out. Just take out any old patterns, any stuck energy that's causing you to repeat some behavior you don't want to repeat. There we go, good. And take that rose out, just put it out in front of you. Healing's very fast. Just let the energy go. And let that second chakra really radiate with that powerful feeling, like your own passion and motivation. Very good. And then feel the cosmic energy making its way to the 3rd chakra in the solar plexus. As it moves in, it's clearing the energy out in that chakra, clearing any blocks around manifesting or action or personal power. And bring a rose into the front of this 3rd chakra. Just clean it out with a rose. Pull that energy out. The rose just gives it somewhere to go. There you go, perfect. And pull that rose out, put it in front of you, and let it go. And feel that cosmic energy continuing up into the 4th chakra in the heart. Starting to clear out any old patterns, any old blocks you have about love. So can you give or receive love, or any blocks to that? And bring in a rose to help clean that out, to give all that stuck energy, those old patterns somewhere to go. Just clean them out of that heart chakra. Very good. And then just take that rose out. Again, healing's very fast, doesn't take time. Put the rose in front of you, just pop it and let it go. And as this 4th chakra balances, let it really open up that full loving space. You can love yourself, you can love others, and you can be loved by others. Let it feel very full. Okay, nice. Now bring that energy up from the cosmic energy up to the throat chakra. See it connecting on both sides of the throat. And that energy is swirling in, starting to clean out your throat chakra, any blocks, any old patterns around communication. And you can bring a rose in to help give that energy somewhere to go, collect up that old patterns, that old history, any old arguments or difficulty from that throat chakra. Just collect it all up in that rose. Pull the rose out and put it in front of you and just let it go. Good. Now, as the cosmic energy fills that throat chakra, just feel it balancing to where you feel like you can really speak your truth. Okay, very good. Let that cosmic energy continue up the front into the third eye and the forehead, sixth chakra area. And as you feel that cosmic energy coming in, just let it cleanse that area of any old doubts, any ideas that you're not doing it right, you don't know how to use your intuition. Just let that all clear away. And as that energy clears, you can bring in a rose to collect up the energy. Feel completely full and clear in the third eye. And just bring that rose out, put it in front of you. Just release it and let it go. All right, very good. And feel that cosmic energy going up one more step into the crown chakra on top of your head. This one looks kind of like a ring or a halo pointed upwards. And feel that crown really absorbing that cosmic energy, just resetting and balancing itself. You can create a rose and just move it all the way around in a circle, all the way around the crown, just dusting it off, releasing any old patterns about your inspiration and your connection to spirit. And breathe. Okay, good. Now just let that energy continue out the top of the head. Just feel it showering in all directions, all the way down the outside of the aura, and also out the throat, down each arm, and out the hands. Okay, very good. Now just be in the center of your head again. And I want you to visualize yourself out in front of you. So just see a little chakra man, like the little diagram or cartoon I drew. And just see one that represents you. And I want you to just notice, are there any chakra cords connected to you in the front or in the back? And you can use your hands out in front of you, just kind of feel the energy. See if you can feel a cord there, a little resistance. And just gather all those cords up from the front and the back at the same time. And just kind of gently give them a light tug, so a little pull of energy. Just let go of any resistance, any judgment. Have a little amusement for these cords. There you go. And then just wait until they release. And you'll notice that they just kind of come off into your hands. You're going to put those all into a big rose and just send that energy back to where it came from. Wow, and just notice how different that feels in your body. Really powerful way to heal yourself. Okay, good. Now be in the center of your head again. And you're going to use your right hand to put it down by your hip or your waist and just kind of move it slowly up the right side of the body, all the way out past the top of the head. And you're just going to spin all those chakras. You can do that a few times. Just spin the chakras in that direction. and notice them all aligning and coming into perfect harmony. And just feel that unique song that's you, radiating out from your chakras into the world. And feel that cosmic energy amplifying that song. Okay, and you can say, I love my chakras. I love being in harmony. Very good. And when you're ready, just breathe and stretch and open your eyes. Okay, good job. So I'm curious what you guys noticed when you can just type in what you noticed. What I saw was, especially in the cord removal, even though we just spent a very short time just grabbing those cords and pulling them off, the energy really released, just boom, and really opened up. And you'll find that if you've had chakra cords, that releasing them can make a huge impact. I mentioned one time I was healing a friend of mine, Scott, and I went around behind him and just felt the chakra cords and just pulled them out and just moved those out of his body. And he kind of arched back and was like, wow, what happened? And he said that the results he noticed afterward were really profound, where before he said he didn't know why, but he would just end up in situations without really knowing, how did I get here? Why am I in this situation? And he'd kind of, he's a really smart guy, so he'd kind of compensate, and how to adjust and adapt to that situation. But he always wondered, why am I in funny situations that I don't expect? And for him, he had these very strong cords in the back of his chakras, and it actually looked kind of like a puppet, like people were able to kind of pick him up and move him around. So I've got a little model here, pick him up and sort of move him around, by these cords in the back of his chakras. And he wasn't sure why it was happening, but afterwards he said that stopped. All those strange situations stopped. So really, it's going to be really powerful. Okay, so let me read some comments. So Cassandra says, wow, I feel bouncy. That's great. Denny, instant relief, lightness, and a little tiredness. Yeah, so if you move energy, sometimes, I feel tired afterwards. Amy says, my frontal cortex felt tingly. Oh, that's great. So you're feeling activation in the third eye. That's the chakra that we most often feel that tingling or sort of pressure in the forehead. When we're doing work, sometimes it'll kind of pop open, and you can really feel it. Okay, Elizabeth said, release many cords, feeling lighter. Great. Hartley, huge expansions, big yawns every time I pulled the rose out, and flowing tears. Yeah, very good. You'll notice, even though we were fast, we just moved the rose in, move it out. When the energy releases, it's big. And yeah, and sometimes you'll just notice, just tears are coming down as it releases. So yeah, good job, great release. Patricia says, quiet, heavy, and now lighter. Very good. Okay, Gunny says yumminess. Glad we're getting some yumminess in the chakras. And so Leslie says lots of cords in the back of the chakras, such a relief. So you'll notice that as you play with this week, that it's going to get stronger and stronger for you. I just noticed one person said basically nothing. Okay, so keep in mind, if you do the exercise and you don't feel anything, that doesn't mean that it's not working. So as you're bringing your attention and intention into the chakras and healing work, the energy is moving. But if your sensitivity is low, if you're used to tuning into the physical world only, sometimes you don't notice right away. And what you'll tend to notice instead of the energy feeling is you'll notice the results in your life. So you'll do this chakra clearing this week, and then you notice, oh, something changed. My relationship with my daughter is different than before. Maybe that's because I did some chakra work and I cleaned up the cords, and you'll notice the results in your physical world. So if energy awareness is not the strongest thing for you, don't worry, you're still doing a great job. You're still making really good use of all the tools that I'm presenting here. Okay, so one more from Maxine said, I'm a nurse, and when I disconnected cords, I felt like I was letting others down. Ooh, that's a good one. So that's about responsibility. Now, responsibility is best when you're taking responsibility for your energy and your healing and your harmony, and that's what you're radiating out to others. As you give yourself permission and alignment, you're letting that permission and alignment radiate to others. If you're trying to do it for somebody, like with a chakra cord, for example, it's not in their best interest and it's not in your best interest. So if you're feeling guilty, keep with it, because you'll probably notice that you'll let those cords come back in if you're feeling guilty. So keep working on releasing them gently, and watch the other people. You'll notice that it's actually really good for them too. So when you see those results, the guilt will go away. Okay, so great work, everybody. There's a few more chakra adjustments I want to talk about. And I really want to encourage you this week to explore on your own. So read some other texts if you're really into chakras. You don't need a comprehensive guide. You want to just feel the energy and find out what works for you, because that's the most important thing. That's the most real thing for you. So I'll give you a couple examples, some suggestions you can try. It's very common for people to have problems when they're trying to fall asleep. And if this happens where you're trying to sleep, you're wanting to sleep, but you can't seem to get out of the body, this is actually a chakra issue. So if you look at where the cosmic energy channels come up into the chakras, right at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, there's a little energy point. It's actually called an ARCM, or an auto response control mechanism, if you need a technical name. And what's happening there is the cosmic energy channels are fueling the chakras. And if the chakras are spinning, your consciousness is in your body, right? It's like, kind of think of them like electromagnets. When their electricity is turned on, the magnet's moving, and your spirit or your awareness is in the body. Now at night, what happens is naturally those turn off, those ARCMs turn off, the cosmic energy just flows by, and the chakras slow down and kind of go into this steady state or kind of this stalled state or quiet state. And when that happens, the magnet's not on and your spirit naturally drifts out of your body. Now, where this can go wrong is if there's a little energy stuck in the chakra. So if something's happening in your third chakra, for example, and that it can't close, it's kind of like having a shoe in the door and you're trying to, force it to close, but there's something blocking the door from closing. And as you know, you can't force yourself to fall asleep, no matter how hard you try. What you want to do instead is just determine what chakra it is. If you don't know, just use every chakra. And then just imagine you're opening that chakra completely wide. And what you're doing is you're letting that stuck energy out. You can even use a rose, but honestly, you probably don't even need it. Just open the chakra completely wide. The energy will flow out. And then the chakra will close. And boom, you'll fall right asleep. And this is a great trick. Usually when I do this, the last thing I remember is just, oh yeah, I want to open the chakras. And I open them up. And then I'm waking up the next morning. So a really effective little trick for the chakras. If you're lifting heavy things, you might want to ground the first, second, and third chakra. That's a nice way to increase your physical stability. If you're wanting to reduce your body sensitivity, say you're doing something that requires great focus in the upper chakras, if you're doing you're tuning into something, you can actually turn down the lower chakras consciously, like, maybe 50% for each of those lower chakras. And this will decrease that body sensitivity and raise it into the upper chakras. Just some ideas. So I want you to, again, really explore your chakra settings. Have fun with it this week. Think about things like, are they fast or slow or loud or quiet or open or closed or, far away energy or more focused close to you. Just experiment and learn for yourself. This is going to be, the best way for you to learn.